Hi everyone. So we are back to activity 6, focus and depth. And in doing this, you are going to need your threads and you are going to need the materials you have there along with your beaker and your water. You also may need your forceps to maneuver this hair or threads onto the cover slip. I found that. Again, you're doing a wet mount. So you are using your pipette for the 1 drop, and you can lay your threads on with your tweezers. They really do help. Make sure that you cross these threads so that they form a little bit of an elevation in the middle, and then again you have more elevation here, so more of a chance for a water bubble, which you don't want. So try your 45-degree angle. We're placing this on to your threads, and you can also label this with your labels as well, and then put it under the stage in your microscope, which I'm going to do right now. Now, in looking at your threads or your hair under the microscope, you're going to be using the lowest objective, the 4x objective first, as always. And in this case, for this depth of field activity, you are going to be using the stereoscopic lens and comparing it to the compound lens. So the stereoscopic lens is turned on by rocking the rocking switch back and forth. And when you rock it toward the back of the microscope, it turns on the stereoscopic light, which is the top light. And we are using this, and we're going to compare the top light to the bottom light for looking at details under low power. Those details include the color of the threads or hairs and the amount of depth of field that we have when we look at these hairs or threads. If you need a primer on depth of field, I suggest you go back to the Investigations Manual. Page 4 has a really good description of depth and field in microscopes, and you're going to need that information. It's going to come in very handy on your quiz. So take a look at page 4 for that as well. So I want you to look at this under the stereo light and look at the colors there. Then go and turn on the compound light underneath and compare. Compare for colors and compare for detail in the 4x objective. Then move to the 10x objective. You'll still have the compound light on. So write down some observations there on your report sheet. Then move that over to the stereoscopic light and compare there under the 10x objective. I think you're going to see a real difference, and I think you're going to see some comparative advantages and disadvantages to each. And I'm interested in what you observe there and your observations there. So you have looked through and you are looking through the 10x objective and you're reporting some observations. And you're also reporting things that are common to both the stereoscopic light and the compound light. You're reporting in here what happens to the depth of focus when magnification increases. And the depth of focus is what you're learning about in the Investigations Manual, page 4. And then this last question is about comparing depth of focus and planes of focus. Let me explain a little bit more, and I'm going to put a little bit more detail into this document as well for you. But the planes of focus is the distance between the lens and the specimen that is in focus, so that you are comparing the distance between the lens of the 4x objective and the specimen when you are in focus on the 4x objective, and you are comparing that to the distance between the 10x objective and the specimen when it is in focus on the stage. That is known as the plane of focus, that distance, that plane there, and each microscopic lens has its own restrictive plane of focus, and you can compare the plane of focus in each lens to the depth of field in each lens, and we want you to do that here. So this is a great lab for learning about depth of focus on the microscope, and I'll meet you on the other side in the next lab.